here's more wrestling news for May 10th, 2021. And your headlines for this afternoon include WWE's big plans for Jimmy and Jey USO leaked, WWE's likely plan for Charlotte Flair on Raw revealed, truth behind A&E-produced web series WWE's Most Wanted Treasures is finally out, new Peacock content this week, what to do with unused WWE Network gift cards, and more. The Great Khali on his WWE debut, Vince McMahon just told me, kill the Undertaker. WWE veteran reveals how Triple H refused to lose against former Intercontinental Champion. Yet another WWE superstar quits after confronting with JBL, and more. We're kicking off today with SmackDown news as Jey USO returned to TV this week after a year on the injured list. Now we know what to expect with both Jimmy and Jey back together, as according to sources, the plan is for Jimmy and Jey to win the SmackDown tag titles from a babyface team in the coming months. That would mean that Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode would need to drop the titles to a babyface team relatively soon, which could be this Sunday when they face Rey and Dominic Mysterio. If this title change happens, it'll make Rey and Dominic the first ever father-son tag team champions in WWE history, but it may be a matter of time before the Samoan dynasty adds more gold to their group. This Sunday, Charlotte Flair will look to become the Raw Women's Champion for the first time in 4 years, and win or lose, we may know what's next for the Queen of all eras. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that though nothing is announced, there are plans for a program between Charlotte Flair and Mandy Rose, though it's unclear if this'll just be a match or a longer feud. Either way, a program with Flair could be a huge step for Rose's career, especially if the Raw Women's Championship was involved, and after falling down the card considerably following last year's storyline with Otis, this could be exactly what the Golden Goddess needs. NXT news as the Gold brand's newest debut, AJ Francis, can also be found on WWE's new A&E series, WWE's Most Wanted Treasures, where he's a superfan/wrestler in training who acts as a middleman between WWE and the collectors. Speaking with Sports Illustrated recently, AJ discussed the new show and refuted claims that the show is scripted like so many other creations from reality TV. He said, "This show isn't scripted, it's entertaining. Kicking it with Undertaker and Kane, I'm like a kid in a candy shop. I'm a mega fan. I can relate to the fans, and that's why I'm here. I'm not playing a character. That's me." People still ask me, "You like wrestling? What's wrong with you?" So I get it. We go into the houses of these collectors. Sometimes their friends don't get them, their family doesn't understand, but I do. I stare at a framed picture of Kevin Owens and a signed Roman Reigns shirt on my wall. I understand the passion. So when I walk into someone's house and I see all these incredible collections, I appreciate the art form even more. On the most recent NXT, AJ debuted as part of a new faction with Ashante Adonis, Brianna Brandy, and Isaiah Swerve Scott. And when he's not busting heads in the ring, fans can find Francis seeking some of wrestling's most valuable collectibles. Peacock news next as new content is coming to the streaming service and the WWE Network. WWE Network News reports that both Riddle and Jerry Lawler will be on the WWE Icons Rob Van Dam Revisited special, which will air this Sunday on May 16th. This Sunday will also see a new Ultimate Show Backlash edition, with Sam Roberts and other personalities booking the Ultimate Backlash card, while a new episode of Drew McIntyre's show Drew and A will see him interview Stone Cold Steve Austin on May 12th. Of course, some fans in the US have struggled to access the network, as fans who previously paid with the network on a WWE gift card can't access the streaming service now that it's on Peacock. Fortunately, WWE have now provided an answer, as the company has teamed with Income Incentives, who are issuing fans with credit for gift cards for hundreds of brands, or that credit can be used for a general card like American Express or Visa. WWE has stated that they plan to have their entire library on Peacock by SummerSlam, and the company isn't stopping adding new content to their ever-expanding library. One moment fans could go back and watch on Peacock is the 2006 debut of the Great Khali, who started his career interrupting a match between Mark Henry and The Undertaker that put him in a program with the Dead Man. What followed was a dominant display by Khali, who defeated The Undertaker in under 9 minutes at Judgment Day. And speaking to Rewind, Recap, Relive, Khali discussed his first night on WWE TV. "Vince said, 'I want to debut you,' but he didn't say who is my opponent. He gives me a call and says, "Come to TV after WrestleMania." Same day, Michael Hayes said, "You have a big day. You need to go out during Mark Henry and fighting, and you need to kill The Undertaker." I was so happy. He tried to explain, and Vince said, "Yes, kill him hard, not easy." That moment was really great. All the world knew who was Great Khali. I want to thank Vince McMahon and WWE for making Great Khali. I appreciate Vince McMahon and WWE. The 2021 Hall of Famer also noted that when he arrived to TV, many people in the back were scared of his size, especially after he delivered a chop to The Undertaker. And whilst Khali admitted to being a fan of the Phenom growing up, that didn't stop him from making his debut at the dead man's expense. From one legend to another, as Triple H faced a lot of big names in WWE and plenty of smaller stars too, but one name who never got the rub from the game was D'Lo Brown. That's according to Vince Russo, who spoke recently about the 1998 feud between DX and the Nation of Domination, and claimed during one Raw, the game refused to let Brown beat him. Russo claimed that Brown had already put Triple H over 10 times at that point, but the future WWE COO refused to let D'Lo win one match, believing he was beneath him. It's no secret that Triple H often didn't want to put other stars over, as his 2002 to 2005 run has been dubbed the Reign of Terror for the game's refusal to put others over. But, according to Russo, this reign started far earlier than fans believe. Speaking of the Ruthless Aggression era, in 2005, WWE brought in Palmer Cannon, who served as the on-screen network executive for SmackDown, but his time in WWE didn't last long. In April 2006, Cannon quit the company, flying home early on a European tour, reportedly due to ribbing/bullying backstage. Speaking on his Something to Wrestle With podcast recently, Bruce Pritchard discussed Cannon and the reports of JBL bullying him, saying, "He was brought in, was not a good fit. JBL gets a lot of heat and gets blamed for a lot of things, maybe just because he's the loudest, but John was not the only one who had issues with Mr. Cannon. And again, it just isn't a fit." Pritchard explained that the whole Palmer Cannon character came about because WWE higher-ups saw him in developmental and thought he looked like someone you'd see walking into a boardroom, with the belief being that they could teach him what he lacked in the ring later on. As for JBL, there's a long list of claims of bullying and harassment against the former WWE champion, a reputation he poked fun at in his recent Hall of Fame speech. At the April 19, 2006 live event in Italy, Cannon lost his last WWE match to Funaki and quit the company the next day, and the on-screen executive hasn't been seen since in WWE. And we're ending today with Cesaro, who will have his first singles match for the Universal Championship when he takes on the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. While Cesaro may be pound for pound the strongest superstar in WWE, Reigns is the favorite going into the match, but one person pulling for the Swiss Cyborg is Tommy Dreamer. Speaking on Busted Open Radio, the ECW legend, who's still recovering from a positive test, praised Cesaro, saying, "If I'm running the WWE, because of all the languages he speaks, I could make him the face of my company. No matter where he is on the card, you're going to get a top-rated, top-notch wrestling match." Discussing why WWE hasn't pulled the trigger on Cesaro yet, Dreamer discussed an infamous shareholder meeting where Vince McMahon said he doesn't feel Cesaro connects with people, and added, "I feel he will get that Daniel Bryan reaction if they ever decide to fully pull the trigger with him, just because fans love him. You think about why they love him? It's because of his in-ring work. He's the quarterback that always delivers." Time will tell if Dreamer's prediction comes true, but this Sunday's match will be the most important contest of Cesaro's 9-year WWE career. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.